Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello to all of you. Hello, hello, hello. I am Big Meach, and this is a Big Meach moment. Well, I'm coming to you like this because, honey, you're going to see me. I am battling the flu. For those of you who know, I was supposed to have been in Detroit at this time. My stepmother passed. I wanted to be by my father's side to help coach him through this. And Tuesday, when I went to work, I was fine. Everything was fine. But halfway through the shift, I ended up leaving and come home because I just felt entirely miserable. My head felt like I was swimming underwater. I had real chills. I was cold. I was losing my strength. I didn't even think I could drive home. However, I got home trying to get out the car. I just slumped over, just fell asleep. And my thing was, well, I'll come home. I'll get my NyQuil. I'll get my Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold. I'll get my Theraflu. Turn the heat on, hell, so that I could sweat. And I was going to be able to break this so that I can get on the plane. There's one to be able to travel. Well, I thought I had like 36 hours to do it. Yeah. But okay, I can get this done. And I'll be ready to travel. The closer it became time for me to travel, I ended up getting worse. I had cramps and things in my legs and all that. I ended up having to go. My legs and stuff, felt like that. My veins were collapsing. It was just burning. So my legs were burning. My feet started swelling. Every time I tried to walk, I couldn't really walk without losing my balance. And every time I moved, I was getting cramps all in my legs and carrying on. And I knew that meant I was totally dehydrated of some sort. And I just couldn't stay comfortable. So I ended up going to Piedmont Hospital through emergency. Was down there for about 7 hours. And after they ran tests and carrying on, they come back to tell me that I had caught the flu. Now, whatever this is, I want everybody to prepare yourselves. Make sure you're taking your vitamins. Make sure you got your immune builders or whatever it is that you do, because they're saying that this version of the flu is real nasty. It's a nasty ass bug. And I know we listened to the news today, and they say within 24 hours time, I think they said the amount of cases of the flu have doubled. We have 1,300 people that have died already, and this is just it really even haven't started the flu season. We're here. So maintain all of your health protocols and everything, right? But those of you who are looking for me to come home, I had to postpone it. I'm coming. I just had to postpone it because I got grounded. I can't fly. For those of you who are assisting me in getting home, I thank you. The coin is all wrapped up in the move, so I had to postpone the trip. Doctors gave me a note to give to the airline, to carry on, and all of that. Luckily, my hotel reservation, I can rebook it. I hope I can find that rate again. Okay, but it's everything is tied up, so I just had to postpone until I'm over all of this. Now, they gave me a shot in the ass, they gave me some Tamiflu and some naproxen to deal with the pain. And I didn't realize that they gave me some Flonase, which I need to take because now my allergies are acting up. And so, honey, I have just been a runny nose mess. Okay, not that that's anything unusual because hell, I am the runny nose boy, honey. Y'all remember the boy in school? I am he. Okay. My mother told me when I was born, honey, I come in the world allergic to the world because instead of crying, the first thing I did was sneeze before I cried, she told me. Okay. So let me get on with this because I want to make sure that we came to y'all uh, and give you something to think about, okay? We are post-elections, right? Here in Georgia, those of us who were looking for Stacey Abrams to win, honey, she did not. Um, and the margin was it was a 10-point margin or something like that. I think it was like the incumbent got what 54% of the vote, and etc. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, wow, you know. Uh, I think one of the things that has disappointed me greatly is that those who have voted for Marjorie Taylor Greene, she won, and she won by a landslide. That girl got 66% of the vote in wherever her district is. And I'm like, what? If you're paying attention, everyone knows that we are in runoff right now. So we have another election coming up on December 6th, 2022, of course. And that's going to be between Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker. And it's a runoff because the vote was so neck and neck to where, because they had a third person in there from the Libertarian Party that had taken some of the votes, no one got to the over 50. They had to have at least percent, right? And neither one of them got that. So now we're in a runoff situation. So now we got to go revote. And I'm hoping that we don't lose our momentum and things of that nature. But I want y'all to consider this, okay? Those of us who take voting seriously, this is not the time to slack or the time to think that, oh, it's all over. They're not going to hear us. They're not going to believe us. They know they want to put Herschel up there. So they're going to do it anyway. It's time for us to get out there and to make sure that they don't. See, I want y'all to pay attention to something, because we keep saying that racism exists. We keep saying that Republicans don't want to be dealing with this, and this. We keep saying that the conservative people, blah, 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 blah. But what is happening is those of us who claim that we're fighting against that, we're not showing up in the record numbers that we need to. We're not out there pushing to make sure that we're staying on point. Also, we're not out there making sure that our message is concrete and that we're fighting for the right things. I'm going to say this about these particular elections, as far as the Democratic Party is concerned. When you got on your talking points, if y'all look at everybody who was running to vote across the country, all the Democrats stayed on the same talking points. They stayed on abortion, they stayed on medicine and senior citizens, and this, that, and the other, and they stayed on, they were trying to say crime and this, that, and the other, but you did not attack any of the arguments that the other side was giving. Listen, as somebody who won debates in Canada, I was in high school. My high school team, we are the city champs twice in a row, okay, consecutive, okay. Well, I said twice in a row and consecutive, that's the same thing, right? But we did 2 years, okay. And one of the things that we learned is that whatever the argument is, you always make sure you say something about it to say that you were paying attention. If you're not paying attention, then they get to run the argument through, and it's a free argument, which means that by the time you get to the end of this thing, that there becomes a point for them to say, okay, you don't care about this, okay, and we were right. Apparently, you're in agreement with me. That's what the thing is, okay? That's how we were taught. We have not attacked any of those arguments. When they sit up there talking about, Joe Biden inflated inflation. How is it Joe Biden's inflation when everybody has been dealing with this inflation because of what the pandemic had done. Everybody was dealing with this. So how is it that this is Joe Biden's inflation? Okay, we still have ships out in the seas. I just read recently that a lot of the stuff for supplies and things, they have been canceling the ships because they don't want to have so many things out, and then they don't have enough here. They did not have enough people. There's not enough things out there. There's not enough in the world to do what it needs to do. So not only are the United States suffering, all the other countries, as far as their economy, are suffering too. The supply chain is not what it is. Listen, how do you know that? How many of y'all gone into your grocery store and you still see empty shelves? We have gotten to a point now to where seeing empty shelves have become normalized to us. Oh, okay. And we've accepted that, right? No. How do we accept that? Okay, when the supplies ain't there, maybe because it's probably what's not on the shelves is probably something that we don't need right now, right? When it was tissue and paper towel and that kind of shit and cleaning supplies, everybody was losing their fucking mind when we didn't have supplies on the thing, wasn't we? Now that we got a supply of tissue, we know that's coming in a minute. Now it seems as though you don't care. But all of this helped to contribute to what's going on here. We want to talk about restaurants and carrying on, honey. How many of y'all going to restaurants or to different places and they still don't have what you have? They don't have it in stock. They can't tell you when the stock is coming. You understand? Because they don't know what the supply and demand is going to be right now. They can't get the supplies. Okay? So as far as inflation is concerned, prices of stuff are going up because everybody got to pay the excess cost. They got to pay extra shipping costs and carry it on because supplies are coming from somewhere and it's costing an extra penny because we ain't right. So y'all not talking about that as far as what this inflation is. Y'all let the Republicans talking, and those who believe that because y'all just want to have something to blame on the Democrats, you guys ran away with that. Okay, everybody talking about they're trying to defund the police. Child, listen, defunding the police that's not. I still don't like that particular term, but the whole idea was to take the coin and to allocate it differently so that the police department can be more empowered. That's the part that nobody is saying, that they're not attacking that. We need to have more resources with the police department so they can better handle situations. You can't send a cop who don't know anything about mental health on the call, because if the person is having mental health issues and the cop don't know that, what happens? They end up shooting and killing. So we have to have better resources, but nobody's attacking that argument. Nobody's attacking that and pinpointing and saying this is what this is. Nobody's attacking the damn Second Amendment thing. They say, oh, y'all trying to take our guns and y'all trying to say this. No, what we're trying to tell you is this. These semi-automatic weapons that we have that are military-style weapons, okay, in compliance or in possession of any of these type of weapons. And so now you may say, well, what if I am military and I have these weapons? If you are military or former military, not active duty, then you become a private citizen. You don't need that kind of weaponry if you're not going to war or preparing for war. Why would you need that kind of weaponry around your house? See, those are the kinds of questions that we need to ask and have answers for. But nobody went to go and attack those hard questions. Nobody did it. Okay, they floated around and wanted to be light and airy. You got on this abortion thing and the woman's right to choose. Okay, that's lovely that you're stuck on that. But then you didn't come back. You did not get back. What's the follow-up to that argument? Because everybody who's talking about pro-life and shut down the abortion clinics, nobody has ever said, okay, let's make the adoption process easier. What about the children that are already birthed and don't have parents because you guys don't want to adopt? What about those? What about the children who are lost in the system? What kind of programs do we have? Because you see the educational system is falling. We have not see you see how we can attack those things. Those are some of the things that we did not jump on to say, hey, this is what needs to happen. We did not get specific culturally speaking. Everybody, black folks, I keep saying, okay, they want our vote, but we don't ever ask for nothing. Yeah, you don't. We don't. What is it specifically that we want? Okay, as black folks, as black men, what is it that we need? What we need better access to our children. For those who are on in the system playing child support, whatever, all of that needs to be revamped so that a man could still either pay his responsibility but still be able to make a living on his own, especially if he has another family. If he's been remarried and carrying on and blah, 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 he needs to be able to take care of the responsibilities, all of his responsibilities, without feeling as though he got to work for the system. We need to make sure that folks who have done their time, they can get those records expunged some kind of way. Something about that needs to happen to where if I pay my debt to society, then my debt should not still, my court records, whatever, still should not be held against me if I'm going for a job, or if I'm trying to get into school, trying to get into housing. How many of y'all realize that down here in Georgia, I'm New Georgia, that here in Georgia, if you have a record that you can't get public housing, if you have a record that end up being on disability or whatever, you cannot get public housing because they say that because you have. And what is going on with rent and carrying on? I can't afford the rent. Then that means I am forced to have to take on a roommate style type responsibility. And if the roommate doesn't do their part, then that means I get kicked out and I got to keep moving around and shuffling around and carrying on. Or I have to resort to living in one of these damn continuous stays, hotel motel type situations. What kind of living is that? Because those are ripoffs. Those are fucking ripoffs. You got to pay by the week and carrying on. So they want what? Okay, if you pay at $375 a week, okay, $375 and $375, that's $750. Okay, $750 and $750, yeah, that's $1,500 a month. When I could be in an apartment on my own that have cooking facilities, 1 or 2 bedrooms or whatever, I could be in a building and in that environment where I can feel a little bit more protected and carrying on, and have some kind of independence. And I don't have to worry about you coming to change the key because I didn't pay this week's rent or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that we have to ask for specifically. But here, across the country, okay, we've got some cute little victories and things of that nature. I'm disappointed that in Florida did not win. They put Marco Rubio and Ron DeSantis back in office. Okay. And back in office. Okay, makes no sense whatsoever. Okay. At the same time, we do have some firsts. I forget who got the first black governor in its history. Oh God, I can't think of the state right now. Okay, we have more women governors that have come to the forefront or whatever. But nonetheless, honey, we have got to understand that your right as a citizen, your voting power as a citizen, it depends on that. Your voice is always needed. It is always important. And if you don't feel that way about your own voice, listen, I tell folks all the time, if you're going to the poll and you don't know who to vote for, write your own damn name on the line. Because voting for you is never a wrong choice, is it? If you bet on you, it's never the wrong choice, now is it? Huh? So if that's the case, why is it that you feel as though your voice can never be heard? Why is it? Is it because you feel as though you don't get results? What do you do to stay persistent about results? Okay. What do you do just to make sure that it can happen? What do you do outside of bitching and moaning and complaining? And then complying, because all that bitching, moaning, and complaining, and then you still end up doing exactly what they say do or what they want you to do, and you have done nothing in return to make some things happen or to put something in place or to say, hey, make note and say, okay, you know what, I don't like this. Have you ever written to your Congress people and say, listen, y'all need to hear me? Did you find out whoever other lobbyists are, those who go to the Capitol buildings and things and say, listen, this is what we need? Have you ever found that out? Have you ever taken yourself to those particular stances and say, look, if you've done none of that and all you do is bitch, moan, and complain, then honey, hey, did you just become what you have become what they are looking for? The person who sit around and wants somebody else to take all the responsibility. You want to point the fingers. You want to point that one finger, but forget that the three and the thumb point is still in your possession. That's 3 pointing right back at you. If you do it like this, okay, it's 3 fingers still pointing back at you. The thumb is going elsewhere. Okay, look at what that is. Look at what that is. Now here we are in the state. I'm going to say this. Now, for those of you, if you didn't like the outcome of your election and carrying on, for those of y'all running for office and things of that nature, do not wait until it's election time again before we hear from you. Now is the time. This is the time to get involved. This is the time to check out their records. This is the time to where you go to all of them, as many meetings as you can, when they have the county meetings, the town halls, and this, that, and that. This is when you get into the paper. This is when you sit down and have platforms. Yeah, everybody could come up with a YouTube page or something, or Instagram or whatever, and go live and say, you know what, that was some fucked up shit. And the government needed blah, 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 blah. This is your opportunity so folks can sit up there and hear you. So that if you're trying to get into the office, if you're trying to get into politics or whatever, start telling us what your plan is. How would you do things differently? If I was up in there, I would look at this and I would do this and I would do this and I would do this. Okay? And then go investigate it. Okay? How would you pay for it? Because that seems to be always be the big thing. Oh, this is overspending. This is overspending. How many of y'all heard this? For those of y'all who here in Georgia, y'all put Kemp back in, right? Okay. That's what you say you wanted. But what was it that he said? Because Stacey was sitting up there saying that she wanted to expand Medicaid so that everybody can have health care. Okay. And those of y'all who are saying, okay, well, we already have the Affordable Health Care Act. Y'all know it has loopholes. Obama said that at the time. It's not perfect, but it's something better than nothing. And we have time to improve the model. No one has come to say, let's tweak it, let's this, so that we can make this happen. Because see, there's a couple things up in there to where it's supposed to be open to everybody. But here's where it is. If your state government did not expand your Medicaid and you don't qualify for the affordable health care, then you can still be penalized. Do you know you get penalized when you do your taxes if you don't have health care? That's one of the hiccups. Okay? So if you don't qualify for the Affordable Health Care Act or plans, and nothing that qualifies you, then honey, hey, your state didn't offer Medicaid. So what do you do? Huh? What do you do? Yes, and you got plans on there that say, okay, yeah, you get a plan as low as $10 a month. Yeah, but let's look at that particular plan. Number one, it don't cover shit. That's just as bad as the state welfare plan. Okay, the plan that they have that some of these folks are offering, they are below what you would get on Medicaid. And if you look at the deductible, a lot of them have an $8,000 fucking deductible. Well, if I got $8,000 to pay up front before the insurance kick in, what the fuck do I need the insurance for? See, a lot of those are the things that we have to talk about. You understand? If we're going to sit down and make a difference and make this a discussion worth having. You understand? This is how your voice counts. This is how you get out there and get active. And some of you say, oh, I don't have time for this. Well, you better make time, because you're going to be the very one that say you don't have time now, but because your change, you're going to pay for treatment. And then they telling you that they can't give you the experimental treatment called X, Y, Z. So you better make time. Okay, you better make time. I understand that this here is not just for you. Okay, this is the present. But what about how can you get this to be better for everybody else? Huh? Or is it the thing that you don't care about everybody else at the moment? Because that could be a factor too. You understand? We have come through, honey, we have come through. And if you don't like the choices that were made, well, okay. Now is the time to make sure that you do your part to stay on top of the elected officials. You have to stay on top of them. You have to hold them accountable. What do we mean by holding them accountable? Because that becomes the whole term, the whole responsibility and accountability. Well, damn it, when we say hold you accountable, I want you to know, no, this is the shit that you did, and you're going to live up to it. You said that you were going to do X, Y, and Z, and you ain't done it yet. What's up? Okay? What's up? Okay, for those of y'all in the hood here, you may have to go, bitch, better have my money. Where's my coin? Where is my insurance? Where is the money for the streets so that we can get better streets? Where is the money for the school system? You said you was going to improve the school system. Where's my money? Okay, that's we need that. We need that. Okay, and we need it not just around the dinner table. We need that in front of the news cameras. We need that at the town hall meetings. We need that every time you see your elected officials. Okay, and don't just sit up there and give them a pass because they gave you a free turkey for Thanksgiving. Okay, Kip sitting up here saying, "Oh yeah, he told the children he'll give them Medicaid for pregnant women." Okay, because he's pro-life. So no, we will expand. We will give Medicaid benefits, but you only get it for the first year. You only get the damn Medicaid insurance for 1 year. The baby is my responsibility for 18. Legally. Okay. So what the fuck is 1 year gonna do if I don't have any other medical insurance and this is the only kind I can get? But you don't want to expand the Medicaid so that everybody can have it. Okay. You say it's gonna cost too much money. But yeah, I thought that I just heard us say that we finna go and try to we are about to break ground so they could take this old stupid ass train that go around town. Y'all finna now try to expand the train to go around town. Where they trying to expand it to? It's the Beltline train. They're trying to make it now to connect to the Beltline and do something else. They're trying to make it go around something else. And yeah, they're looking at that. I'm like, really? I think it's going up to Stone Mountain or something like that. They're trying to expand it to go somewhere. But y'all going to spend that kind of money for that, but you won't take MARTA and expand the MARTA system so that it goes down to Peachtree City or what's on the other side? What's the blue line? Wait a minute, because the blue line, is it Fayetteville? Because it goes to Bankhead. It stops at Bankhead, but we trying to get it to go past Bankhead. I'm trying to think of where that is. What it is. Wherever it's trying to go to. Y'all want to take the MARTA and expand it that far out, but you want to take a stupid ass train that didn't make sense in the beginning. Okay, that y'all broke ground with downtown, to tow up all the downtown. I'm sitting up here thinking when they had talked about the damn thing, that they were it was going to be a whole lane of itself, right? I'm like, oh, okay, we got train tracks or whatever. They put the track in the street. So the train is running simultaneously with the cars. If y'all in Detroit, that's the same stupid shit that y'all let happen to go up and down Woodward. The fuck y'all need that train to go up and down Woodward for? It only goes from New Center downtown. Really? For what? For what? We already had the bus shuttles that did all that. The dudes of the town center buses that carrying on. We already had the shit that here in Atlanta. They already had the green shuttle, the blue shuttle, whatever that did certain things that went to the King Center, this, that, and the other. We already had that in place. What the hell do we need to spend this kind of money for on a train that ain't making no goddamn money? Wasting all this damn money. Okay. But I'm saying all this to say, in this particular moment, you didn't like what's going on in the elections, okay. If you went out and voted and your particular candidate did not win, okay. All right, we're in a democracy. Now it's time for you to take that energy and to get involved. Make sure you stay involved. Make sure that, and don't just be criticizing just because you have a knee-jerk reaction because it's party line. Oh, these old stupid ass Republicans and blah blah. No, make it make sense. Okay, make it make sense. Okay, make sure that you have some substance behind it. Don't just doing it because you're mad at the vote. Make sure it makes sense. And then make sure that you're fair in your criticisms. If they've done something right, okay, let it shock you. If it shocked you, it shocked you. Oh shit, I didn't think he was able to do that. Okay. But it's time for us all to get involved. Okay, those of us over and carrying on, yeah, we done became our parents and our grandparents. Some regards, because I mean we were religious, we weren't thinking like this, not on a regular basis, but now that we are, what's T? How do we make it better? How do we make it better? What does better look like to you? What does better mean to you? Okay, how do you teach your children, your nieces, your nephews, your grandchildren, those in your inner circle? How do you teach them about their voice? How do you do that? What is it that needs to be done? Let's think about that. Let's get into it. And like I said again, those of y'all who are looking to go into public office, if you did not win your elections this time, do not let this be the only time that we hear your voice until it's time for elections again. You need to stay in the trenches. Do the work you would have done in office. Boom. Show me what you would have done had you had the power. Okay. Get on the committees. See how you can sit down there and work with the system and get in the system so that you can make the changes necessary. That's it. That there is it. So on that note, honey, I'm melting away. It's the medicine, I know. I got to get some more to drink because I'm dehydrated and carrying. That's the one thing I hate about being sick. I dehydrate easily. Okay, I don't know what this is with this damn chair because every time I'm sitting down in it, I get this pain right here. They say right here in your lower neck or whatever. You get that pinch or whatever. Because you're sitting down, probably how I'm sitting. Everybody keeps telling me I need to get one of those gamer chairs, and I just have not wanted to spend that kind of money because it's being things like $250. But I'm gonna have to get one because I'm sitting too long. But nonetheless, I'm rambling now, so I'm gonna let you guys go. But do this. Make sure that you realize the importance of telling somebody, whatever, in your local friendships. If you're in a relationship and you always talk about how you ain't heard, if you at your job and you want to know that your work is done and you want folks to make sure that they know that you did your work, that's the same thing. That's your voice. That's your power. You got to make sure that everybody else who's supposedly talking in your best interest know that your voice matters. Your voice matters. Now, whether we agree is a whole separate issue. But as long as you have breath on this side of creation and above ground, your voice matters. Point blank, period. Your voice matters. Now, get yourself around a number of people where y'all saying something similar or whatever, and y'all can get together and have a group. And that way you can do this thing in numbers so that you can have some strength and some power behind it, some encouragement to say, you know what, let's do this. But do it amicably. Please do not sit up here and cause and do like these Trumponians and shit. Everybody want to resort to violence and all this old craziness. That has nothing to do with nothing. That's intimidation. That's not using your voice. That there is using scare tactics and intimidation. We don't need all that because that'll get your ass hurt. Okay, point blank. Exclamation point. Okay, that would get your motherfucking ass hurt. Okay, but if you could be adults and learn the power of the pen, learn how to write a letter, learn how to go to the newspapers, go to the blogs, put it in writing, articulate it very well. Okay, learn a few vocabulary words, because I'm telling you, that's what's gonna get you over, honey. You learn a couple words that got 6 or 7 syllables in it, honey. That'll kick it up. Okay. Nonetheless, let me let you guys go, honey, because I got to go and get myself together, okay? Listen, I'm Big Meach, honey. This has been a Big Meach moment. We'll talk again soon.